Everyone, Suey here. Welcome to my kitchen. This is a little bit different background. I had to shut the little curtain so we don't have too much backlighting. Hopefully it looks okay. There's a video that I've been thinking about doing for a while. I'm not sure if people will really be that interested, but I'm just gonna go with it just for those who might be. Part of my every book in my library collection, I thought it would be fun to go through my cookbooks because my cookbooks are sort of a fun, weird, eclectic collection, I think. And I feel like they're part of my library, even though they're not downstairs on the library shelves, but they are in the kitchen because that's where cookbooks should be, right? I have a section here on this little shelf thing out in the kitchen, and then I have the cupboard, which is the very definition of a chaotic mess. I've been saying over and over again is how I embrace my method of organizing. But going through this shelf might be good for me. Maybe I'll figure out what I can get rid of and maybe try to organize a little bit. Cupboard one is where I actually pull from most of the time for cooking, and then the one right here by me right now are more the ones that I'm like, oh, these are pretty, and I'm gonna just sit them out here to look at. So let me show you what I've got. Here's one that we probably got for Christmas one time, 600 curries. I don't know that I've ever actually cooked anything from it, but boy, it has a lot of fun ideas on, not as many pictures in it as I thought, but fun ideas on Indian cooking. And if you're really into figuring out the spices yourself and stuff like that. And sorry, we're in the same room with the bird, and so the bird is gonna talk and join in with us and here and there, okay? This one I think was kind of making the rounds for a while. Eat this, not that. Not dieting book. Going through and saying this product is maybe better than this product with the ingredients, and or eat this kind of a hamburger instead of this kind of a hamburger or something. I don't know. Do you guys remember this book? Did anybody grab it? And I think it was fun to look through, but I'm not sure that I actually used it that much. Maybe I should look through it again. Might be interesting, especially given that I've done a lot of more research lately about eating and food and stuff like that. When was this done? 2011. So yeah, it's been around a while. Here's a fun cookbook that Tori probably got when she was a kid. Hannah Montana, Sweet Niblets, Rockin' Food for Any Meal. A great kids cookbook for kids that were growing up during that time period. Lots of fun illustrations and very, very colorful. I'm sure all of it ties into the Hannah Montana TV show. The Wholesome Junk Food Cookbook. I remember this one was one that my mom gave my son when my son was first started on his healthy eating kick. It's not a colorful picture one. Oh, there are some pictures in it. Look at that. Let's see, not a whole ton. But it gives you ideas of making things that are more healthy but seem like treats and are yummy. Easy Thai cooking. I don't remember where this one came from. Is this one we just happened upon sometime? Is that not awesome? I don't think I've used this one. Like I said, I don't remember having it. It looks like a good one. Scrumptious Pies and Tarts. I think I just came upon these, like they might have been some freebies somewhere. Oops, I guess I should show you. This one has lovely pictures. Yummy stuff. Yeah. Pies and tarts. Yum. Hey, I'm sure this is one my kids got for, and look, there's a lot of marked ones in this one. Silly snacks. I might have taken this one to my grandkids when I attended this past summer, and we picked some stuff out of here to make. Anyway, this is another great kids book with lots of great photos and easy to follow recipes. I really like this one. I enjoyed this one too, and have made several things out of it. Did you know that there's not just Rice Krispie treats that are the plain Rice Krispie treats, but you can make all these many things with Rice Krispies. So many fun ideas with Rice Krispie treats. This is one of my favorites. Anyway, that one has some great stuff in it that I did go through. This is the Italian cookbook one, great big, like almost a coffee table size cookbook. And it has awesome illustrations too. I love cookbooks with not illustrations, photos. Lots of photos too. And I'm sure I've cooked stuff out of this one, but it's been a while and it's kind of got neglected over here in this section of the kitchen. This is Juices and Smoothies. And we have tried many of these ones. I really like this cookbook for when I'm in the mood for something other than what I normally do, which is some almond milk and banana and some chocolate powder and ice. Put that all up and you got a yummy, yummy smoothie. But sometimes you want to do something different, so you look in that book. This is one of the first cookbooks I got, baking, which is my favorite. And it's actually falling apart, if I remember right. So I can't really flip through it, but I have made a gazillion things out of this book back in the day. It's totally bad. It's bad. Oh. I don't know. I didn't do anything bad to it. It just fell apart. And it's one of those books where I feel like I need to take it somewhere and get it rebound somehow. And then I can actually use it again. I was for a long time really into making cakes. So somebody probably gave me this one, children's cakes. But this one uses a lot of, what's that thing called? Marzipan, you know, where you can make the real smooth thing. And I never really got into figuring out how to do that. So, but there's some really cute things in here. Yeah, in a minute I'll show you the cake cookbook that I actually used a ton. Here's a Betty Crocker one, low fat, low cholesterol cookbook. You will notice that I have many cookbooks that are on the theme of trying to eat healthy. This has been a theme in my life for as long as I can remember. And it's always something I'm trying to do, but I fail at it time and time and time again. I always default to just enjoying food and stop worrying about everything so much. And then I worry about it and then I stop, and then I worry about it and I stop. So you'll see that in this collection. Yeah, Betty Crocker's always got great stuff, right? Lots of good pictures in that one too, but I can't remember if I'm sure I've cooked something out of there, but I don't remember. And then one more on this shelf, Taste of Home. So did anybody ever remember getting Taste of Home magazine? And then they will put together the cookbooks. So there's a Taste of Home one. Great stuff in these. They have such fun things. Now we're gonna head over to the cupboard, which is the part of this video that scares me the most. This was not bad at all, but the cupboard, yeah, wish me luck. Start with this one. This is the first cookbook I got when I don't remember how old I was, maybe 10 or so. Betty Crocker, Boys and Girls Cookbook from the 1970s. I loved this cookbook. It is very, very, very well loved and used. And I'm falling apart. And I made all of the first things I ever tried making, I made from this cookbook. And I think I mostly made everything in here. I don't know. Loved it so much. And then when I got a little bit older, I got the real Betty Crocker cookbook. Whatever year this was, does it say what years? 26th printing, 1976. That's the Betty Crocker edition I have. And so then I graduated from the kids one to the adult one and made tons of stuff in here. And some of our family favorite things have come from this one. All falling apart. There's the maid stone. Yes, it has, you know, some pictures, a lot of information on just basically how to cook. Here's one I came across. I don't remember, some of these I don't remember how I got. Could have been at like giveaway places, used places, cheap somewhere. Anyway, Campbell's Quick and Easy. So these are all, you know, the little casserole kind of recipes where you just use some soup and some noodles and you throw something together. And I went through lots of that back in probably when I was a mom with young kids. Here's a couple of books from Sunset. Fresh Way Through Chicken and Wok. I was really into the wok for a while. Do you guys remember the electric wok? Anyone still do that? I haven't done anything with Mom with that forever and ever. And chicken. My daughter was really into selling Usborne books, but before she was doing it, I did a party once, and so I ended up with a ton of Usbornes. And here's a cute little cookbook one. I'm not sure we ever did much with it. And this one I might have inherited from my grandma. Natural Cooking, the Prevention Way. Hundreds of nutrition-packed recipes from the readers of Prevention, America's leading health magazine. It looks so old. I don't know where this one came from, but I've never really used that one. It's just in the pile. Okay, so lately I've been trying to do more recipes out of this. Not that I'm doing keto, but that I'm trying to do low carb. So whenever I'm in the low carb kick, this has a lot of really easy recipes for low carb stuff and helps me try to figure out what to do. And this is my most recent list of things that I've been trying to make from this cookbook. So yeah. Another thing that you do when you're doing low carb is chaffles. And here's a whole cookbook of different kinds of things you can do with chaffles. Do you guys know what chaffles are? Yeah? Something you make in a little waffle maker, but not with flour. It's mostly with eggs and cheese. So it's a cheesy thing, that's why it's called chaffles. They're kind of awesome. Here's another Indian one that I got when I got my Instant Pot on how to make lovely Indian things, Indian recipes in your Instant Pot. And I have made a few of these and they're really delicious. This is a book that I got when I got married. Falling Apart, Bread Making Made Easy. And I have made pretty much everything in this book also. I can't flip through it because it is falling apart. I make cinnamon rolls and rolls. There's a recipe in here called Lillian's Basic Bread Recipe, and it's just like flour, water, yeast, and sugar and salt. And you can make tons of stuff with it. And I've used that recipe over and over and over and over and over and over again, countless times, to just make whatever roll thing I want to make. Rolls or breadsticks or pizza dough or hamburger buns. This is another favorite one. It is from a local restaurant. They have a cookbook just for, you know, their main recipes, but this is the Christmas one. And I use lots of things out of it too. There might be a couple photos in that one, so, but yeah, really yummy stuff. Here's the cake decorating one that I was telling you about before. And this is the one, Betty Crocker's, of course. It's got frosting all over on it. This is the one where I made several cakes and frostings out of. Lots and lots of ones I've used from this one. It's awesome. This is another Instapot one. I think, did this come with Instapot or did I? No, I think when I got my Instant Pot, I also got this cookbook to go with it. Because I was learning how to do stuff, you know. I use my Instant Pot all the time now. This is sort of a church one. It's called Deseret Recipes. Pioneer Recipes, basically. It's a really weirdly laid out one. You've got stuff on both sides, but you flip it like this, you know. So this is like basic down-home cooking kind of recipes that I've used quite a bit. It's falling apart. There's a magazine I bought that has recipes in it when I was trying to do low carb. Here's a cookbook collection I really loved. It's called, I'm not exactly sure who does this one, but this one's a crock pot one. So I've gone through tons of stuff in there. There's no pictures in these books, but they're just like really good practical recipes. And this one I really have enjoyed. Favorite recipes from quilters. Just down-home great recipes. And I have made tons of things from both of these cookbooks. Oh, here's another one that's in that collection that I think I forgot I had. It got buried in that mess. A Quilter's Christmas Cookbook. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, I totally forgot I had this one. This one needs to be resurrected and brought back to the light. Here's another Betty Crocker one. I don't know if this is like the new version of that old one I have. Modernized version of it and easier to use. This might be somebody else's and they just didn't take it with them when they left the house. These are some of the versions of ones that the church groups and the family groups have done. They all kind of look similar like that. And here's another one that somebody's put together too. That they did this one on their own. So it's just, you know, printed and bound. This one, there's actual companies that you send your recipes to, and then they make them into these cool books. I use random recipes from all of these all the time. But the one I use the very most that's like that is this one, a family cookbook, and it is so hashed. In fact, I might have two versions of it. Anyway, this is the one I use the most out of all these cookbooks, okay? Seriously. Everything I cook, pretty much, I cook from this one, which is weird to me. All this stuff, and this is the one. This is the chosen one. This is a cookbook that I used back a long time ago when I was trying to, this plan of eating was eating a lot, just eating the right things. And all the stuff that she suggests you to eat is in the back as the cookbook stuff. So I did that for quite a while. This one is eating stuff from your food supply. If you have like wheat and, you know, grains and things like that in a food supply, then this is how to use it. This set of cookbooks I got a long time ago, and I ended up not using them as much. I didn't end up liking these recipes as much. But yeah, skinny vegetarian entrees, skinny chocolate, and skinny cookies, cakes, and sweets. As if you can actually eat these things and be skinny. It's insane. Here's the older version of that other cookbook that I got. So I went through this one, and then they updated it, and then I got a new one. Dutch oven stuff. This is the most recent thing I got a hold of. When I went to the New England, on the New England trip, I bought this cute little book on how to cook with Vermont maple syrup. So that's my newest edition. This one was a really popular book for a while. How to Lower Your Fat Thermostat. Another version of How to Eat Healthy that I tried for a while. I just shake my head because nothing really works. Just gotta eat food and try not to worry about it. Mr. Food Cooks Like Mama. Somebody gave me this one for Christmas. In 1994, says. I remember trying some stuff from this one, but it didn't stick with me. I remember loving this one for a while. Somebody gave this one to me for a present too. This is volume 2 of Cooking with Mickey. So Disneyland recipes from the parks, from the restaurants, so that one was fun. Here's a whole pile of Costco cookbooks. Do you guys get the Costco cookbooks that they give away for free every year? They're beautiful, but I don't usually use them. Oh, this one was part of that other set, I think. Some more ways to try and eat yummy things and not feel guilty about it. Rachel Ray, 30-minute Get Real Meals. I forgot I had this one. Not the greatest illustrated or photo one. A couple of them, I guess. I love this one. This is just eat some cookies and not worry about it, right? Recipes using Nestle's products. Love. And then I have stoneware from, Pampered Chef. So this is some recipes on how to use some of that stuff, which I remember going through that one quite a bit. Oh, I got this one just a few years ago. Six Sisters. Do you know these bloggers? I don't know if people know these bloggers or not. They have some awesome, lovely, wonderful recipes for celebrating, for holidays and things. And right after I got this is when I started doing low carb. This was probably 4 years ago. And so I didn't really cook anything out of it. So that's sad. Sometimes I like to buy cookbooks when I go places. So here's one that I got when we went to New Orleans, which I forgot I had 2. So that one maybe I'll resurrect also. 5 ingredients or less. I use this one a lot when I was cooking with the kids around. Really easy stuff. I have no idea where this is. Crockpot Owner's Manual. I have a lot of owner manual things because they do have some great recipes. That one's a nice one with a little spiral bound and everything. My Korean cookbook. Actually, it might be Tori's. Can't remember. Anyway, this one's really good and has comics and stories in it, and then the recipes. Such a fun book. Sister-in-law gave this to us all 1 year that she got for free somewhere, and I haven't really tried them. Cooking with chilies and cooking with potatoes. I guess these really aren't books, but this one I think we must have used a lot, and it's going through the alphabet and teaching your kids. It's kind of hashed, F is for fudge brownies. G is for giant gingerbread kids. H is for honey bee cookies. I loved it. We did stuff out of this one, I can tell. Then we got some owner manuals, old-fashioned muffin recipes, Bear Wallow books from some trip. Here's a real old one. Looks like it's from the 50s that my grandma handed off to me. Joys of Jell-O. Seriously. The Chocolate Lover's Cookbook. Oh, there's not pictures of chocolate in there. That probably has some awesome stuff in it. 10 easy to make cookie recipes from the mouse who wants a cookie. You give a mouse a cookie. Isn't that adorable? The Pampered Chef Favorites. So more recipes on how to using those stuff from the Pampered Chef. Real country recipes. I'm into the real country stuff. Here's a whole thing falling apart that I used these recipes so much when I first got my crock pot and I was learning how to do it. Crisco's American Pie Celebration. You guys, I haven't bought or used Crisco for years. But everything in this cookbook, I bet you can use with butter. Slow cooker meals from Betty Crocker. Lots of awesome ideas in there. This is from the library that they put together for Halloween. I don't know what that is. Okay. Then I have a whole stack of magazines of craft, food, and family, which I've saved, but I probably will never look at again. Here's two other books I use a lot, and this is another family collection, or no, another church collection one from our church group. And this one is the Amish cookbook that I got when we drove through Amish country, and it has some awesome recipes in it too. I used to rip stuff out of magazines and I would file them away in this file folder thing, and then I started putting them in the binders. Actually, this is another church collection, this is another family collection that somebody just put in binders, and then this is me putting them in my magazine clippings in clear pages. Thought I was doing such a great thing. And then here's one I did just for the holidays and desserts in the clear pages. Crazy. Then I started a binder of stuff I printed off the internet. We went from magazines to printing stuff off the internet. And so I have this huge binder. And I also have a whole stack of HelloFresh recipes that I feel like I could bind them in, maybe a binder, or get some rings or something. But you know, once you get a HelloFresh bill, they give you the recipe so you can make them all yourself if you can find the ingredients. Along with that family one that I showed you, this is actually where I cook most of my stuff. I flip back and actually use this messy pile of papers. It's crazy. And I think that's it. We went through the cupboard mostly. The stack of magazines, the file thing. I'm not showing you. I don't know what that is. Messy stuff there. And now I'm going to organize this and put it back in a much nicer way. Do you think I can do it? I don't know if it will fit. Anyway, I don't know if this is something anybody was interested in. Maybe you're into cooking, maybe you're into cookbooks, maybe you collect cookbooks like I do, and maybe you find it interesting to see what random things I have in my cookbook collection. So there you go. And I am excited because, like I said, there's a few things here I forgot I had, and now I'm going to bring them to the light again and maybe use them again and flip through them. And yeah, hopefully we can all stop worrying so much about food and just enjoy it. Enjoy the food, people. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.